God has called us to a way of life of higher quality, of higher principle. He has called us to a way of life of higher standard. And it is a way of life that is based on separation from the world. It is a way of life that will cause us to strive for our devotion and be useful for Him. Hi, beloved. Welcome to the Voice of Comfort. If you're new here, I say welcome. Thank you for joining. And if you're a returning subscriber, I say thank you. Love you so much. Yes, on this channel, we discuss all things Christian lifestyle. We share content based on faith, personal development, Christian finance, and many other transformative content. Majorly, we talk about things how a Christian can dominate here on earth, how a Christian can thrive while here on earth without losing their Christian values. If this is something that's piqued your interest, I believe that you should subscribe. Yes, subscribe to this channel and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you would get notified whenever we post a content, and we post content every weekend. Thank you so much for joining, and let's get started. Today we are going to be talking about a very important and beautiful topic called virtue. Virtue is a moral quality. It is a moral standard, a moral principle. I would call it a moral excellence. You can also call it that, a moral excellence. This is how a Christian should live like Christ, living Christ like, right? So it is a standard that a Christian is meant to meet, to live by, right? So God's standard of, or God's mathematical method of growing is by spiritual addition. And that will lead me to the anchor verse for this topic, which is found in the book of Second Peter chapter 1, verses verses 5 and 6. So verse 5 I would read. And beside this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge, and to knowledge temperance, and to temperance patience, and to patience godliness. So I'm going to stop here. You can read on after this video. First Peter chapter 1 verses 5 to 8. Right? Those are the spiritual growth that a Christian should have, growing in grace. So here it's saying that add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge. So faith is obedience to God. We know it as the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Even though you've not seen it, you've believed in obedience. That is why faith is what? Obedience to God. But now virtue is moral excellence, a Christian's character. In the beginning of the world, the first thing God gave man is an image, not power, not fame, not money, not whatever pleasure, whatever it is we are pursuing after now. It is an image, and that image is God's nature, God's character. This is a very important lesson that God reminded me of this week, and I was at work and it kept you know coming back to my mind, and I kept thinking about it, and I thought to share. Why not? So, as a Christian who is really intentional about their spiritual growth, I believe that we should think on these things. God has given us an image, His nature. So, how do we manage this in this world? Now, I'll say character is the nature of God. The scripture wrote, I'll just pick a verse, a phrase out of it. Said, with God there is no shadow of turning. I can't remember the full verse now, but I remember that part that says, there is no shadow of turning. In whom there is no variableness. It does not become A like today and B tomorrow. It does not change. It is the same today, yesterday, and forever. So that is the kind of life that God wants us to live as a Christian. Character before power. Our character defines who we are, right? So a character is meant to be fixed, right? Meant to be fixed. Our character is also meant to be stable and is not meant to waver or change. In fact, it's meant to be predictable. People are meant to know us for this. Except it's a bad character, then we need to adjust, right? And then when we adjust, we ensure that we follow through that character. And that was why in the first, in the intro of this video, I mentioned that it is us striving for our devotion and our usefulness to God. The only way God can trust you and promote you is by testing your character. And the most important component in leadership is character. A person of character, hence the respect, hence the power and fame afterwards. So it's not by seeking power or fame or wealth first, it's by seeking character. That's why they say It's better to have character than beauty or stuff like that. Your character is what you do under pressure. Do you succumb to situations when they blow you? For example, like me, when due to some certain experiences I've had in time past, when things happen to me, it just get me really upset and all that easily. So God begins to change my mind, begins to correct and adjust my mind, adjust my heart. Those are the lessons I've been learning, and I could say that there is a difference. God is helping me. So as Christians, our character should not be predictable. People should not say, "Oh, if we do this to her, trust me, she's going to react this way. This is what will happen." We should shock people at times with our character. They should just like intentionally do or some evil or harm, or even if it's not intentional, and then we just smile it over and just say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. God bless you. Oh, there's no problem." Even when the person eventually apologizes. So these are the ways our character should be unwavering. We should not be a predictable person. Character is a self-imposed discipline with keeping with I mean in keeping with moral conviction. So it is not easy to be moral, especially in this time and age. So you have to be self-disciplined, and also it is a commitment to a set of values without compromise. You must know that this is what I want to focus on, this is how I want my life to be, these are the friends I want to keep, this is how I want to react, this is how I want my life to be. Make sure that whatever it is that you are, whatever principles you're setting for yourself, or whatever standard you're setting for yourself, are scripturally backed, all right? So I think that will help to build a life that has virtue, a life of principle. It means that you must constantly put in efforts to integrate, your actions, your words, your deeds, your reactions, whatever it is, even your thoughts, as having control over your whole being, having control over your thoughts, over your actions, over your mind. Everybody cannot be your friend. In fact, with little people in your circle, I think it's best for a person of character, and just make sure that you are fulfilling purpose with that. Just make sure that you are in the circle of people that you can support and can support you as well. You can go all out for, and they can go all out for you as well, right? Character is a sacrifice for principle. Character is integrity. Recently I've been learning hard about this thing, and I'm like, there's so much about this virtue. We had a lesson back in my place of worship, and God has not allowed me to rest on that topic. He has kept on reminding me about it. Character is integrity. Character is power. Be known for something. Stand for something. If you do not stand for something, people will give you something they want you to stand for, right? So be known for something. Be predictable. I don't know whether to say be predictable or be non-predictable, but I think the two go hand in hand. If you get me, I remember the first time I said be predictable, and then another time I said don't be predictable with your reactions. Right? I think that goes. But for your character, shows that. For your actions, show that this is who I am. This is what I stand for. I do not go out by so time. I do not, you know, make calls at so time with so people, or engage in so things. I'm just using that as an example, right? So do what is best for you, but as I said earlier, do it in a way that will please God and make God proud. All right. So a person of character does not need anyone to correct them or tell them what to do. By themselves, they know when they go wrong, and they immediately, you know, take a U-turn, make a U-turn and correct themselves. Not that no one can speak to them, no, but even within themselves, once they do wrong, their conscience will prick them, and immediately they would apologize and begin to make changes. That is a person of character, and with this character, you will be able to effectively and efficiently fulfill your God-given purpose, and your vision will be kept, and you'll be able to leave a legacy for your future children and even generations to come. So, this is just a short video. I'm praying that the Lord Himself will interpret this word into your hearts. I don't want this to be like a sermon or a preaching. It's just something that happens to me that I learned this week, that God reminded me about this week, and I thought to share with you this weekend as you go again to a new week. I do hope that you've been blessed through this video, and I wish you a very joyful and itch free weekend. Bye.